seeing, like in Europe and along the Front Range? Those big mile-long.
I guess it could be. Or at least that's their link to propulsion, is that it requires them to be that long, depending on the frequency that they're using to. Yeah. So I
never to those spiral thing you were talking about. The spiral blue thing you were talking about earlier. Does that relate to that?
No, completely different.
Okay, just checking.
It's okay. So when I ended up looking at the sky was then there are all these little dimples that I would see in the storms, and so I'm like, it just didn't make any sense. Why, in the middle of somewhere, would there be this collapse? It's like somebody's pulled the drain out of the storm and it's all just coming down. And you guys have probably seen the holes in like an altocumulus deck, where it's like the cloud has begun to weep. We'll see some pictures here. So it's just the down, it's an anode. It's where one of the anodes in the resonance, the downward spiral, the high pressure, localized intense high pressure. And so with the downward, there's got to be at some point along the way like an up. And these up nodes can only focus inside the or inside the snowstorm. And then you intensify the storm with the updraft. Oh yeah. Lovely to wake up. Well, this is what.
Nebraska.
Yeah, noon. FedEx is the busiest.
Noon,
17:32, so that'd be Central Time in March, so we haven't gotten daylight savings time, so that'd be noon 32, 12:32 p.m. Now look at that. I mean, the sky is covered. So you've reduced by a minimum about 14% of the income solar radiation. It's just gone. Reflected back to space. Don't tell me this doesn't have an effect on the climate.
why?
Ask them. No,
They're dimming our lights so we can't grow our food.
They're trying to
Get the
compensate
vitamin
for
D.
global warming as well. It's a balance.
I was okay with that potential, but with climate data coming out and realizing that in the unadulterated data, the planet, the U.S. warmed. The warmest year in the U.S. was 1930. Period. Nothing in the 90s or recently has come close to it. Well, it's come close, but it hasn't eclipsed 1934. In this recent blip in warming, we peaked in 1998, and we've kind of been on a downward slope since then.
And we're having record low temperatures, 50 degrees below
And
record
and
temperatures.
what they tell you then is weather is not the climate. Weather isn't climate. Weather creates the climate. So, more ways. Off of Baja California. So this is off the coast of California. You see how they almost have like chicken's feet? Pulses. So then they'll measure how clouds spread, how they'll break and drift, and it's just like if you go in and need to go to the hospital and you're going to have an MRI, magnetic resonance image. What do they put in your system to trace your circulatory system?
Very.
Have a little jug. Don't swallow.
It doesn't hurt me though. We tried it. We tried
Neither was
calling it
cocaine.
did not work.
I understood that radiator fluid worked better for that. I'm just saying.
Well, what's that radioactive area very close to that?
You would think, and I think that what we take for an MRI is different than this. It's just, but you see how pronounced this holes are? I mean, this is sharp, but you can't go to National Weather Service imagery and get this resolution. And you can't watch the evening news and find visible imagery. What they do is they'll take infrared imagery and it's blurred. It's blurred. I promise you cannot find sharp satellite imagery on any. I was one of the last ones to use it. You just, because I like the science side of things. I like to show details. And for them, it's pretty, it's color, and that's remember what they used to call cirrus clouds, where it was written up in the school books from the 60s? It was a part of a horse. Mare's chops. Remember that? Mare's chops. Long, thin, wistful, little curly thing, straight. And not the convoluted, squared off, strange things. All right, when we're resonating the atmosphere, the ice crystals, the water crystals will all begin to align. It's like the standing wave that we saw in the sunshines. The ice crystals, and when you throw a radar beam across it, we begin to get reflections because it sees a wall of aligned crystals. We'll see that in the sky with sundomes, with sun halos, with those kind of light phenomena. But radar will also see the same shapes. All right, who's that? All right. Who's heard of orgone energy? You would. You know, the more I study orgone, the more I think this is where the bulk of the effort has been directed to do the weather modification. Oh, really? So you say somebody here in the state